Without further ado, then, the first session of the day is themed around the subject, the world beckons. In today's environment, the world is the oyster for India's entrepreneurs. Hear from an experienced entrepreneur on how to capitalize on such an environment. Why not you? Why not now? Please put your hands together for our first speaker of the day, Mr. Vijay Kapoor.
Loving you so much. Very happy morning to everyone. Can I have a roaring start to today? Happy morning. Fantastic. It's a huge privilege to be starting off the session today, standing in front of a group of very elite, hugely successful and promising entrepreneurs. I know there's a mixed group today with people from different fields, but believe me, it's an honor. I'm not standing today in front of you because I'm better than you, or probably I have better experience than you, but purely to share my life's experience and the lessons that I've learned out of my life in the entrepreneurial journey of 21 years that I've had. As the story goes, the father, in the end of every evening, loved to sit and read the newspaper. But his 5-year-old daughter wanted to play with him. But father being father, he loved to read his newspaper. He wanted to know what are the scandals for the day, what has happened, what are the important news. But children being children, she was very relentless and she wanted to play with the father. So that's when, in a stroke of brilliance, the father noticed a full-page advertisement of a global courier company on the last page of the newspaper. And the global company had printed to all the various locations they delivered their goods and services to. So he tore that part of the newspaper, tore into multiple large enough bits and scattered it all over the floor and told his daughter, this is your jigsaw puzzle. Solve this puzzle, get the world map right, and Appa will play with you. And he continued to read his newspaper. Within 5 minutes, he heard a little joy, a sound of joy. And his daughter tapped on him and told, look, Appa, I've completed the jigsaw puzzle. Looking at the stunned expression of his daughter on his face, looking at the stunned expression on his face, his daughter asked him, Appa, why are you surprised? As you were tearing the newspaper, I noticed there was the face of a man on the other side of the newspaper. I don't know where Burma is. I don't know where New Zealand is. I don't know where Nepal is. But I definitely know where the forehead is, where the nose is, where the chin is. And what the little girl told her father is so profound and so real for all of us. I got the man right, and the world became right. So this is a call for all of us. I know in our entrepreneurial journey, we are all the time from morning to night, running. It's not about just being a one-roll wonder, but it's about being a holistic wonder. What are the use of sitting on a 1,000-crore empire when your family life is falling apart? What are the use of being hugely successful in your social circles and being looked up to and being a mentor for a lot of other people when your own child is going through a drug abuse or is having relationship issues? It doesn't make sense. So the striving as an entrepreneur has to be, you need to be a holistic success. As an entrepreneur or as a human being, you not only don the role of first a child, a son, a brother, a husband, a father, an entrepreneur, a team leader, a social citizen, and a seeker. Now, all the roles that you have, you need to be successful. It's no more about being a one-role wonder. It's all about being a holistic wonder. In my entrepreneurial journey of 21 years, I've realized certain mental philosophies have always helped me, kept me in course, and kept me going. Very early in life, I realized that you need to subordinate your likes and dislikes to the purpose of your life. It's very nice for you to say, I want to build a 1,000 crore empire. It's very nice for you to say, I want to build an international brand. It's very nice to have all these dreams. But it is not going to be possible if you're not willing to subordinate your likes and dislikes to the purpose of your life. The only thing that is possible in your mind has to be, how am I going to do it? What am I going to do it? From the time you get up, from the time you walk into your organization, to every decision you take. As an entrepreneur, you can never ever decide what is easy. You always have to look into what is important. And what's the definition of important? That is going to help me create my tomorrow is important. Because urgencies always act on you. It is you who needs to act on what is important. I will subordinate my likes and dislikes to the purpose of my life. This one mental philosophy, when I started my entrepreneurial journey as a 23-year-old, I'm a first-generation entrepreneur. I come from a middle-class family. No one in my family has ever been into business. I was educated in a Christian missionary school, and the reason I got educated was because my father was not able to afford the school fee, and the Christian missionary was able to sponsor my school fee. I have been through a lot of hardship, but these hardships have actually created me. It has given me the willpower to subordinate my likes and dislikes, because I've been very clear from very early in my life. If I need to be the best. The choice that we need to be, what we need to make, is whether you want to be the 857th in your industry or you want to be number one. Everyone puts in almost the same amount of work, whether it's 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. Everyone goes to work in the morning and comes back in the evening. But within that time when you go to work and come back, we need to make a choice whether we want to be the numero uno, whether we want to be the number one, or we just want to be lost in the crowd. We just want to be another 857th. It's a decision that you need to make. Mental philosophy, I will subordinate my likes and dislikes to the purpose of my life. Another mental philosophy that I've always thought and held it very close to me, as a leader, let problems come from anywhere, the solutions will come from me. When anyone walks into your cabin, they should walk in with the confidence, I have problems, I am getting into this cabin, but I know the solution will come. There is a way, and the way is on its way. This has been another mental philosophy of mine. There is a way, and the way is on my way. Sometimes when people come into your cabin, and they ask you, Vijay, I'm facing these problems, how can you solve it? With the current maturity, with the current data that you have, with the current analysis that you have, you may not have the solution that you can provide for it today. There is a way, but the way is on the way. Sleep another day, get up another sunrise, add a few more members to the team, discuss, brainstorm. There is a way, and the way is on the way. You will always find it. People will look up at you if you are able to be a solution provider. Let the problems come from anywhere else. Let the solution come from me. This has been another major guiding factor. When I started my business, when I was 23, I started off as a tailoring unit with 2 machines. The name of the brand was Derby, Gentleman Outfitters. I had 2 machines. I had one tailoring master with me, Nandagopal master, and I was the second employee of the company. I used to have a lot of people coming and laugh at me telling that, hey Vijay, what is this? You left a job to start off your own business, and what are you doing? Tailoring? You're sweeping the floor, you're taking measurements, you're cutting fabrics. What is this? What's wrong with you? Why you give up all the success that you had working to start off a tailoring unit? But I was extremely clear. that I want to make it and I want to make my own brand. I will not compromise. I will not trade. I will not work for anyone else. If I need to do something, I need to make it on my own. I need to give the energy that is required to create my own brand. And that is what I have done. And I've always believed that what is possible for one is possible for everyone. If it was possible for Dhirubhai Ambani, from a petrol bunk operator, to make it to a 60,000 crore empire during his lifetime, it will be possible for me. If it is possible for one, it's possible for everyone. So one of the mental philosophies that I've always had was, Vijay, do you want to be a typical 23-year-old? Or you want to be a 23-year-old the world will look up to? Will you be a role model to your world, or you are willing to be another typical 23-year-old who is interested in partying, who is interested in going to the discotheque, who is interested in drinking, who is interested in smoking, who is interested in doing all the other things? Yes, I'm not saying all these things are bad. I'm not judging anyone. But what I'm trying to say is you need to subordinate your likes and dislikes to the purpose of your life. 23 years, when I was 23 years, that's what I decided. Do I want to be a 23-year-old, typical 23-year-old, or do I want to be a benchmark in the industry? Should my own character expectations from others be greater than that of my own? That is something that I've always asked myself. And today I'm 46, I ask myself this question every day. Should my expectation from others be greater than that of my own? Because if you don't follow what you preach, you lose the moral responsibility of questioning anyone or leading anyone. If you, as the managing director of the organization, walk in at 11 o'clock in the morning, and then you call up people, your timing is 9:30 in the morning and you come at 9:45, you have no moral responsibility or no moral right to question anyone else. So these have been few of the guiding principles that has actually helped me and guided me and steered me through life. I strongly believe man is created to create his own life. Man is designed to design his own life. Man is the co-author of his destiny. From nothing to something is a social responsibility, and from something to a legend is a personal responsibility. Every human being is a great investment of the entire human community that has actually brought you up. You are a huge investment of the emotional investment that your parents have put in you, your uncle, aunties, the schools and colleges that have educated you. You are a huge investment. From nothing to something is a social responsibility, and from something to a legend is a personal responsibility. Getting you there is their responsibility. Beyond that, how you get yourself to the future is your responsibility. And once you get there, someone believed in you before you could believe in yourself. Now it's time for you to be that someone in others' life. Once you reach that stage, it becomes your responsibility of not only lifting yourself, but lifting the world around you. This is the job of every entrepreneur, and this is something that we as entrepreneurs should never forget. Now, I want to take you back to a research that was done some time back on 500 of the most successful human beings who ever walked this earth. They were from different fields. They included religious leaders, industrialists, entrepreneurs, sports personalities, inventors, all of them, 500 of the most successful people, to understand, is there anything common between all these 500 people that has made them the huge success that they have done, the legendary results that they created? Is there anything that is there that has brought all of them together? Yes, each one of them had their own individual traits. Each one of them had their own individual characteristic that helped them hit the top and become who they became. But there was something common among all of them, and those common things is what I want to share with you. The reason why I want to share with you, as I started the talk, I told you, I strongly believe each one of you is a legend in your own right. You're all very successful out here. But we also need to benchmark ourselves to understand, are we living up to what these attributes are that makes people successful? We need to constantly introspect ourselves to understand, are we doing justice to our potential? Are we living up to our potential? Is this what we can do? And it's not only just about us as entrepreneurs. It's very, very important that we also develop a second line and third line. Two of the major challenges for becoming a global brand, for taking your brand global, is going to be infrastructure limitation and leadership availability. Infrastructure limitation, what I mean by that is, yes, you may be the best in what you're doing today. Yes, you may be a national player. But still, if you get a global opportunity of expanding overnight, you may still not be able to do it because you don't have the infrastructure capability to expand overnight. You need to build it step by step, step by step, step by step. Second being leadership availability. What we are seeing today with Tata. Today it's a case study in most of the IIMs to understand what's happening in Tata. Succession plan. Leadership availability. It is our responsibility to groom in the leaders from within. Not only that we become great leaders, but we also need to get in the second line and third line and groom them to a position of leadership where they're able to lead the company from where you leave off. One of the first attributes that was seen in all these successful people was their passion for excellence. Passion for excellence is when you know you're born to win. You know anything that you do will be nothing but the best. Anyway, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you dress, the way you drive your car, the way you drive without honking your car. Driving a car is another thing, and not honking and still having the patience when you drive it. The way you walk into your office. When you walk in, if you find a piece of paper lying on the floor, ensuring that not calling the peon and doing it, but picking it up and showing an example that yes, it is not acceptable. Everything called passion for excellence is anything and everything that you do, not only within your office, but if you're into retail. I can speak on retail. The way you run your retail shops, the way you run it, the quality of music, the quality of visual merchandising, the quality of salesmanship that goes in, what has to be done, everything, there has to be a passion. There is a DNA craving within us to be the best. Let me tell you a story. And this story is about you. A very long time back, about 700 million participants ran a race, and only the best and the fastest won that race. That 700 million participants I'm referring to are the 700 million sperms moving from the father to the egg in the mother, stationary egg in the mother. Only the fastest, the strongest, and the best managed to fuse itself with the egg in the mother for you to be born. So what I'm trying to tell you is, you are the winning sperm. You've already beaten 700 million possible for you to be born. So I'm not saying that you're here to win. I'm saying you're born through the process of winning. You are a winner by birth. And that is the DNA craving within every one of us to be the best and perform the best and do the best. Yes, you cannot spell success without you. So and so you cannot spell victory without I. It's very, very important. It's not enough that you are the best, but you also need to build a team that is equally enthusiastic and believes in excellence. TEAM, together everybody achieves more. When you speak about team, it's an understanding within the organization, within the team, that you're not playing against each other, but you're playing with each other. Most of the time I find in organizations that have really grown, the enemy is not somewhere within outside. It is not the competition that is outside, but it is the interdepartmental rivalry that pulls the entire organization down. How can we build a team for them to understand the goals and vision of the organization is far more greater than individual egos. When ego comes, everything else goes. The first thing to leave is your peace of mind and your happiness. When ego comes, everything else goes. When ego goes, everything else comes. And the first thing to come back is your peace and happiness, because ego makes us a perennial beggar. Ego fed makes it a superiority complex, and ego starved makes it an inferiority complex. Both are a danger. So we need to understand, for leadership, for team building, we need to understand that we need to drop our ego. As leaders, we need to understand we cannot get ego involved with our own team members. We have to be a true leader where we understand what is the best for the organization. Am I doing the best? Am I doing justice to my potential? Am I keeping the vision of the organization over everything else? Am I able to filter it down to my team? ensure I build it to them so that they're all able to come together to keep the vision above everything else. Mastery in communication. All these successful people were great masters in communication. Unfortunately, most of us believe that we need to get ourselves educated, do our MBAs, educate ourselves in different fields, but we leave communication to a chance. Communication is not about just talking. Because when you're talking, you're just speaking to each other. Communication is basically about empowering the other person. It's no more about mind to mind. It's not about me just transferring my idea to you, but it's a transfer of idea along with the feelings. You need to empower the other person. Only when you're able to transfer your idea with the feeling will you be able to actually ensure you're able to lift the entire team up. So mastery in communication is very, very important. There was a small game conducted in one of the companies where they had a lot of inter-department rivalry. The game was such that they drew number of circles all around the place and made a heterogeneous group, a mix of your vice presidents, your clerical staff, your security, everyone were put in different circles, and they were given a balloon. And the game was just tapping the balloon and keeping it on top. It was a game, all of them were excited. Obviously, there's a kid within each one of us. And as you'd expect, the game started, and one of the teams won. At the end of the game, all of them were made to sit in the same circle, keeping the mix of the group intact. So the single question was asked to all of them, what was there on your mind when you were tapping the balloon? The only thing that was there in the mind for every one of them was the focus that they needed to keep the balloon on top. Second question was it bothering you that someone else was putting in more effort than you? You were putting in more effort in tapping and your colleague or your friend out there was not putting in the effort. They said no. All of us were so busy tapping that we didn't even notice it. The learning from this whole thing was that when you have a vision within the organization and you're able to empower your entire team to keep a focus on keeping the balloon on top, then it doesn't matter whether you're the vice president, whether you're the peon, or whether you're clerical staff. All of them will have the single-minded purpose to ensure the vision of the organization is kept on top. But the problem there was, the reason for the interdepartmental rivalry was not that the company did not have a vision, but the issue was the managing director of the company was not good in communicating. He was not able to empower his team. He was not able to communicate the vision and get the team to follow the vision. High energy level. There are no off days in the life of a legend. If you're okay doing just ordinary things in life, if you're okay with just being me, mine, myself, I will go, just take care of my family, then with a domestic power connection, you can run a household. But if you're saying, no, I will settle for nothing but the best because I deserve the best, I'm going to make a world-class global organization, then you need higher and high energy level. And that is only, you need an industrial power connection if you want to run an industry. That is only possible if you are always enthusiastic and you have intensity in whatever you do. Enthusiastic in the way you speak, the way you talk. There is intensity in anything that you do. And two very vital things that are common in all these great people who succeeded. One was they were early risers. I know you're not going to like what I'm going to tell you. Most of the successful people, one common trait was they all got up during sunrise or just before sunrise. The energy is highest during early hours. Second, they ate energy-giving food, fruits, nuts, and energizing food. And third and most important, they did some form of physical activity that get them fit. It's very, very important that you keep yourself fit, because what is the use of you saying, no, I want to be the best, I'm going to create a global brand, but you get into the office and by 4 o'clock your back is hurting. It doesn't make sense. You need to be fit. You need to ensure you are high in energy. I've got only 2.5 minutes left for the talk, so I'm going to cut my talk short. There are a lot of other attributes that I love to discuss. But one thing I've realized, if we need to empower India, if we want to make India a global power, if we want the 1.2 billion population of India to really count and make it as a superpower, then we need to ensure that all of us get together and make Monday our holy day. I know in a lot of different parts of religion, for Christianity, Sunday is a holy day. For Islam, Friday is a holy day. For believers of Sai Baba, Thursday is a holy day. Different religions have different holy days. But to this community in front of me, I strongly believe we need to make Monday the holiest day of our life. Anyway, 1/7 of our life is going to be a Monday. Let's ensure that Monday, the day when the work begins, the first day of the week, is the holiest day. Let's spring out and get out of bed on Monday morning with that enthusiasm to go to work and make a difference. Not only lift yourself, but lift the world around you. To commit yourself to excellence, to ensure that you are the best, to build a world-class organization. And it's not just about you, it's about empowering each one of your organization. It's very sad when you look at the statistics to realize between 9:30 and 9:45, maximum number of heart attacks happen. If we are going to find going to work a stressful experience, then how are we going to live this world? How are we going to put India on top of the world? So this is my humble calling to each one of you. Let's make Monday the holiest day, the holy day, and let's ensure as entrepreneurs we give it our best. Today's talk is all about now and you. Let's live in the moment. Let's ensure we make India, put India on the world map and make ourselves superpowers. Loving you so much. Thank you so much. I have 22 seconds to go. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Wishing you all a fabulous life.